Hello everyone, it's Fluffy, and I'm back with another video. This time we will be taking a break on the medium tanks on Neo Tank series that I've been doing, and going with a different game. So recently, I've been playing a lot of Live League. I've been getting back into Standard a little after playing a bunch of Fog.
I went in, I queued up, I put a standard game, and I got matched up against Mr. Greensuit.
And I got a tier 2 game on base light.
This was tier 2 match and in Live League, and so the tiers are changed, right? In Live League a little bit. So you got Max, this is a base light map, base light, so 2 bases and 1 airport. Max gets bumped up to tier 1, and Rachel gets bumped up from tier 3 to tier 2. And so
of the 4 COs I had to pick, it was either Sammy, Eagle, Olaf, or Rachel. Olaf, well, this map, Fancy Meat Computer, is a very small map, so I don't think Olaf is a good pick. And I don't think Eagle is a good pick either for the same reason. There seems to be a lot of fighting in a very, very tiny map. So I guess in this case Sammy can be strong simply because of how fast you get the infantry battles, and you would very likely have infantry battles before the tanks really start coming into play. So I suppose Sammy is an option here. But I went with Rachel because I believe Rachel has a good mix of both aggression and mid-game strength when the powers get online. So, if you don't know, Rachel has a day-to-day of units repair plus 1 additional HP. That means that whenever you retreat and sit on a city to heal, you heal 3 HP instead of 2 HP. And that can be huge if you're in a constant brawl. You pull your damage units back to heal up, and then they come back in 1 or 2 turns, and they come back with such a strong firepower.
And Mr. Greensuit decided to go for Olaf. So very interesting CO matchup, right? Like Rachel against Olaf is very, very rare that you see that. So definitely, already from the get-go, really interesting.
And if you know anything about Mr. Greensuit, I don't.
Now, I don't know a whole lot about Mr. Greensuit
because I don't really know too much about people. I just play my own game and then fight people.
But I do know 2 things. Well, starting off, I'll put his profile thing on screen, but you'll see that his elo is like 900 from Global League, but that's because he's only played a few games and never went back into Global League. Because I can assure you that he is at least 1500 Global League player, because he plays really well, and it's because of these 2 facts. One is that I know DJs is good friends with Mr. Greensuit. He's been on his channel and on stream. He's talked a lot about strategy. I know they plan together about different tournaments and stuff like that. So definitely a very creative player of Advance Wars, and very strong. And he's also one of the few, if not like the only player that has ever beaten Go 7 in Standard, something like that. So like, you know, DJs Go 7, they're really high up in my ranking, you know. So definitely, I saw Mr. Greensuit, I was like, oh no. I saw the profile, I was like, wait, 900? Is this maybe a fake Mr. Greensuit? But no, it was in fact Mr. Greensuit. Very strong player. So I knew I was in for a big battle.
But my only knowledge of Mr. Greensuit is that he built a missile against my stealth. I believe I had another game with him some other time, but I don't remember, so for the purposes of this video, it never happened. And now let's talk about this map. It's base light, like I said. That's why Rachel's in tier 2, because it's hard to magnet when you don't have a lot of units to magnet. And we each start with one pre-owned city in the center that is very close to both our bases. It can very easily, well, it won't easily flip, but it can very much flip and be very hard to flip back. The airports are also it's in the corners. It's really far away in the corner, so air units, they are strong. There are a lot of ocean tiles and river tiles that, along with the mountain and forest, which make it very hard for anti-air to chase them. But at the same time, the airports are really far in the corner, and it might take a long time for them to come online. And with how close the bases are, I don't know. I don't think air units are too strong. They are strong, but the opportunity costs are very high for them. So let's begin. I picked Rachel, which means I want to go aggressive. I want to trade down Olaf, because if you know anything about Olaf's super, is that it does global damage. All your units take 2 HP of damage, and it doesn't matter where they are. Then when Olaf comes in to first strike your 8 HP units, they can pretty much almost kill it if they don't have the firepower. They can pretty much just kill your units, and they pretty much can't do anything. What's your 3 or 2 HP unit going to do against an Olaf? And this is a 4 comm tower map, which means it's likely that both players will get 2 comm towers. Usually one person will get one side while the other gets the other side. So if your units are at 8 HP and Olaf first strikes you with a 10 HP unit, you probably be left at 1 or 2, most likely 1, I believe. So let's change his color to Yellow Comet, in case those, just for some people who have a hard time telling colors apart. I've been told that yellow and a cobalt color typically don't have any problems, so Yellow Comet it is. I'm facing the... Let's have me face the left, actually. I think I like facing the left. And Mr. Greensuit, face the right. Okay, so let's begin. Now, I decide I wanted to go for this chain first. I want my money.
So, I am the aggressor. I need to really put the pedal to the metal, you know, be greedy with early captures, early vehicle and harassment stuff like that.
Now, I know I said I would be very aggressive, but unlike some people's definition of aggression, I'm going with the vehicle aggression game. Think of it like if I picked Max here instead of Sammy. Well, like think of Max versus Sammy. Sammy's aggression is she wants to stop your captures, take the properties for herself, and want a lot of infantry to kill your infantry very early on before the vehicle game picks up. Whereas Max aggression, Max would probably do what I do here, which is to get the early income and shift the game to a tank game as soon as possible, because the longer it stays on the infantry game, that's where Sammy is stronger, whereas Max is stronger once it transitions to the vehicle game. So for me, my plan is, instead of playing the infantry game against Olaf, I'm gonna go with the vehicle game and just trade Olaf down using my day-to-day healing to heal up my vehicles and charge right back to the front line. So that's my plan. Get a lot of early income and defeat Olaf with the vehicle trades. Olaf also goes for the money. This time he goes for the center property, which also protects his city, but I'm not going for that city yet. It goes for a capture chain as well, but there's also a capture chain down here. But this chain does theoretically go forward, even though it's never actually going to happen, but it does centralize your infantry, so that could be good. For me, I'm thinking, I'm not playing the infantry game. I'm playing the tank game. I go for the back cap, the turn 1 capture chain. I want my money and I want to build vehicles fast. I want to start pounding him as if I'm playing Max. Except I'm not, I'm playing Rachel. But it's good enough. I then send my next infantry to go for either this chain or this chain. Doesn't really matter to me. He goes for this city and sends the next infantry for this chain as well. One of these two. Pretty normal stuff. And here's what I'm thinking. Where do I want to send this infantry? If I send it towards the center, he can start capturing this. Then I can start capturing this. Then he can cancel the capture to start capturing my pre-owned property, which is a play I've done against people before, where I just cancel my capture to start capturing the pre-owned property. And then this infantry that's capturing the property, this neutral property, will feel really sad because now he has to cancel his capture to save the city. And I don't want to face that sadness. I want only tank aggression. So I go for the safer, take the airports. My next infantry, I'll explain the aftermath of this decision in my next turn. He captures this city, continues the chain, starts capturing this, sends the next infantry for this city. Makes sense, that's what I did over here. And alright, no recons are built. We're going in a tank game very quickly. I captured my side city, start capturing the obvious cities. I captured this because, like I said, I wanted the tank game. I don't want infantry game, I want tank game. Because I'm playing not Max, I'm playing Rachel. Normal stuff, going for my chain, going for my airports. And now he does it. He cancels this capture and goes for this city. Now, in my opinion, if he's going for this city, he should have sent this infantry, which was on the show tile, to capture this property for this capture chain. This capture chain seems very important, and is certainly more valuable than this one, because this infantry can probably capture all the comm towers pretty safely. And he builds his first tank. I could have built my first tank last turn, but I decided not to because I'm expecting my infantry to... Okay, I accidentally clicked. Because I'm expecting this infantry to interrupt this capture, so my next infantry can go for the chain. That's why I didn't build the tank last turn. And now my infantry, which is not capturing anything, if I sent my second infantry for this city, it would have to cancel its capture to save the property, and it would have been very sad. But because my infantry is the third infantry and not the second one, it's not capturing anything yet, which means I'm more than happy to take the strike. Oh, and another reason why I didn't build the tank last turn is because I actually wanted him to start capturing my property, because like I said, I want the aggression game. But aggression with the tanks. So by waiting one more turn with the tank, he can move his tank forward. Then with my one turn reinforcement, can strike the city, encouraging him to strike my tank back. And now I have the tank battles that I want. And the reason why I want the tank battles, even if I'm on the plains and he first strikes from a property, is because he is Olaf. Olaf's Winter Fury is incredibly powerful if you have a lot of units, but it will do almost nothing if you don't have units. So if I just encourage tank trades, tank on tank violence, if we just keep trading away all our units, the Winter Fury will do nothing. But my super covering fire would do a lot, because the less units he has, the more units he either has to commit to being a missile bait, or the more damage he takes because he can't magnet, he can't missile bait. Alright. And I'm doing a similar thing over here. I'm standing on a road next to a property that he can attack from. Why do I do this? Because I want to trade units down. This is what aggression is. You have to encourage them to attack. You have to either attack yourself or encourage them to attack you, so you can trade the units away. And it's fine if I lose an infantry, because if he loses an infantry, it just makes my super much stronger. If I lose an infantry, his Winter Fury has one less thing to hit. That's the difference between... well, that's my reasoning for why I want to trade. And because I skipped the tank in my turn 4, I believe. Yeah, I could have built a tank turn 4, but I chose to skip it. I'm allowed to build 2 tanks this turn, while still having the money to buy a 3rd tank. Now, you might be looking at our value right now. Mr. Greensuit starts with this amount of... Mr. Greensuit starts almost his entire income behind... Actually, he's more than his entire income behind my value. And that's because I went for my early turn 1 capture games. I go for my guaranteed capture, turn 1 capture chains, going for the safe cap, because I wanted to get my vehicles out. I wanted the tank fights. And now I'm up pretty much a full turn ahead in value. Now, he does have a little bit of extra money to spend. That makes him not really a full turn behind. But it's still a pretty strong disparity in wealth already. Admittedly, he is getting his contested properties, whereas I still don't have my contested properties. But I'm hoping that my momentum and my aggression with tanks, which is what I was planning from the beginning, I wanted the tank fights. I'm hoping my aggression with tanks will eventually... I'm hoping the momentum will get me more damage than the income difference after I struggle with capturing these properties. I'm just relying on my units rather than properties to decide the game. He goes for this strike. He strikes back. And I just retreat. I don't have to stay there. I want a tank fight. I also retreat over here. I heal up very fast. I heal 3 HP per turn. So any other CEO, aside from maybe Andy, I suppose, would take 3 turns to heal this infantry. I only take 2 turns, and it will already be up and ready to start fighting for the city again. I also move in, knowing full well that I have a tank reinforcements covering this area, and he doesn't. I also go for a tank strike over here. Now this capture is secured, and I can continue with this chain. This city might be contested from his infantry, but I'm fine because I got the tank fight I wanted. I'm encouraging him to fight me into my turn 1 reinforcement, where I have a comm tower next turn, and he still doesn't have a comm tower. So this is what aggression means. You have to encourage fights even if it's losing, and then rely on your day-to-day to win from the supposedly losing trades. He strikes me, we go for an 8-5 trade, which is normal because he doesn't have comm tower. He started capturing both comm towers, double strikes my infantry. I am fine with that because I'm Rachel, I can heal these infantry up very quickly, and I have a tank reinforcement. He built another tank on this side because he went for his forward captures first. I'm basically up a tank every single turn. We both have 3 tanks right now, but I can afford another one. It's pretty much A, B, A, B, A, B tank order. Normally, a map is considered balanced with B, A, B tank order. But not me, because I went for my early money. I go for this hit after capturing my comm tower. Then I go for this tank hit, and this is very disappointing. I really wanted to kill. I was unfortunately unable to get it. but it's fine, because I know I'm still winning in the long run. Tank strikes. Let's strike this infantry, kill it. I probably could have used my 8 HP infantry first, and then my full HP infantry to finish it off. This way if I'd done that, I would have had a healthy infantry ready to start capturing these cities much sooner. But too late. There we have Olaf capturing both his comm towers. Now it's very scary because I only have one comm tower. He gets a first strike again, but again I am fine with that because I want the tank trade. The less units I have, the weaker his Winter Fury is. As backward as this logic sounds, you want less units to build up. It's not that you want less units, you don't want units to build up. He can finally afford a double tank turn, which means he can finally contest this tank. So I do the next best thing. Well, I'll show it later. For now, interrupt this. What's this 2 HP tank going to do? It's not going to do anything. Might as well take away some money. If I lose this tank, so be it. That's just one less unit Olaf is hitting with his Winter Fury. I move my tank back to heal, which is very strong because I heal 3 HP a turn. His tank heals 2 HP. This will heal up to 3, and then mine will heal up to 7. And that 7 HP tank is a lot stronger and can contribute a lot more to the tank fight than a 3 HP tank. This is where I use my day-to-day. And people think it's just 1 HP for healing, it's not going to do much. Well, it does a lot if you're constantly in the fight. I then bring in my next tank for my continued tank aggression, start capturing my other comm tower, bring this infantry here to heal up. Not only would it heal quickly to 7, it also acts to help protect my capturing infantry from his infantry. I then move my tank over because admittedly, if I keep fighting like this, I will eventually lose unless I bring another tank. And this is where my income comes into play once again. My early income, which allowed me to get a double tank very early on, allowed me to strike an infantry with the tank, and now this same tank, which is one of my first tanks, is contributing to my 1-turn reinforcement base. And while he got his first double tank, I immediately get my next double tank turn right after, which is really strong. Now I did make a slight misplay, I would say. I should have mentioned this a few turns ago, but my infantry capturing this city, well, my first infantry which went for this chain, I believe I sent it back down here where it started where it ran here, I believe. I think I would have preferred it moving left to start capturing this city, so that all my infantry could have helped with the fight over here instead. You know, I'll just move a few turns back. Yeah, this infantry should have sent it left, so that it can help with the infantry battles over here, or at the very least, it can reach this city sooner, whereas it would be over here, then walks here, then walks here. But too late. I think I moved it onto the mountain because of... I don't like it. Definitely should have sent it left. Anyway, back to where we are. Like I said, I moved my tank here. My first double tank turn, I immediately sent the tank to the right side. Well, not immediately, but I now sent it to the right side where it can support this tank battle. He interrupts my comm tower, which makes sense. His tank moves forward, but doesn't have a target because I already front shifted. These forests in the center make it very hard to front shift, which is why copters are very strong in the center. But the key word is in the center. It's not going to be there for a long time. He gets the first strike here with the 2 comm towers. All our tanks are pretty much max level tanks. We have the firepower of max here. He kills my 1 HP tank with an infantry, which I'm fine with. The tank did its job interrupting this property. Good soldiers follow order. And now that's just one less tank I have to take, one less tank that will take damage from his Winter Fury. And I accidentally click down instead of right. Whatever. I saw a good turn. I have lots of infantry near lots of his tanks. So I want this aggression to keep going. So Lucky Lass. Lucky Lass gives all my units 40% extra, sets my luck to 40, which means I can do up to 40%, well, not 40% more firepower, but just raw damage. Luck is not affected by unit interactions, so my infantry could take up to 4 HP off a tank, based on a dice roll. I might get it, I might do 0, or I might do 4, who knows. Take this engagement first, which is actually pretty good. I took 5 HP off of this. That's actually almost a max roll by me. And I continue capturing this. This is also almost a max roll. I do 7 HP off of an infantry on a city. Luck is reduced by defense, so yeah, that's a very good roll by me. I take this hit, which is, it's a little better than average, but I'm never supposed to get below average because it's only good luck for me. Lucky Lass only brings good luck. I then finish off this infantry, and you might be wondering why I done these seemingly useless move, and that's because I wanted to clear a space for my infantry to attack from a city without having these 2 infantry move out of the way doing nothing. So yeah, this 8 HP infantry needed to move out of the way, and I decided to do it with an attack, so I don't waste their luck, is what I'm saying. I then take this strike over here, got the luck I needed to kill it. That's pretty much maximum luck here. Like, Rachel gets plus 40 luck. Take away 30% of that from a city, and that is pretty much 28 luck in total, plus I think this tank is a little chipped from my 1 HP tank, but so I pretty much got the max luck roll here and reduced it to 7. Then my tank also gets lucky, straight up kills it. Now my tank is a little sad because it doesn't do anything, except just kidding, it does something. It sits on this city, so he can no longer use its defense boost against me. This entire time he's been using the defense boost against my tank, and I didn't like it. But no longer. It does mean I'm no longer 1-turn reinforcement from my base, but that's fine, because I already have a second tank here, and I'm already using... what's this? The Rachel day-to-day? I pretty much have 3 full HP tanks here, on the front lines. That is really strong. And because I have 3 full tanks, I feel like it's finally time to get a copter. I can afford it, I'm getting it. He kills my infantry, starts striking my infantry, just picking off the weaker. I do not agree with this. Unless your tanks are going in to strike my 3 tanks here, which is also a bad idea. I do not agree with this tank hit because it opens up 2 hit KOs from... I have this tank here that can strike it, and I have another tank that can strike it. That's a 2-hit KO. Thanks to my power defense, my infantry survives at just enough HP. If you look at the top left, the comm tower is now at 4 HP, and my infantry is at 4 HP, which means I capture it. If you don't know about how property captures work, all buildings have 20 HP, and the building HP is decreased by the infantry's current HP, which usually would be 10. That's why it captures in 2 turns, because 10 times 2 is 20. So I captured it with 10, then I captured it with 6 in my previous turn, so it's reduced to 4. And now in my next turn, I can reduce it to 0, which means I captured a city. He goes for this tank strike, which I found is a little weird. But then I realized, wait, I don't have a tank reinforcement, so this is actually the best tank strike he can go for, where I'm on the plains and he still has some defensive terrain. Which brings me back to a previous point about copters. They are very good on the map once they are in the center. And if they're not in the center, the opportunity cost of not having a tank here to strike right now is pretty high. So there we do see the opportunity cost of not building another tank, but fortunately I do have a different healthy tank for this. I capture my comm tower, and now I have 20% firepower. That is max level tanks, max firepower. And 20% firepower guarantees 2 hit KOs against units on cities. So this is a guaranteed kill. This is also a kill. I probably should have... You know what? No, this is fine. I wanted to capture this. His tank is getting some hits one way or another. So I might as well just... You know, if I lose this tank, it's fine. Like I said, I am fighting against Olaf. If I lose a unit, that's just one less getting hit by Winter Fury. I start healing this tank up, build another tank, Copter moves in. I start capturing this city, and I want to encourage fighting. I start capturing this knowing full well that I have a tank advantage on the left side. If he sends his infantry forward, I'm happy, because trading units down mean that my super is stronger and his super is weaker. Every unit I trade 1 for 1 is winning for me. He goes with a second copter, which I was surprised by. Considering how long it takes for copters to reach, he interrupts this, he also interrupts this. I have less income than him, but it doesn't matter because my plan revolves around riding the momentum of having faster vehicles. I have more vehicles in the center than him right now, mostly because of my effective trades, but also because of my earlier income. It might come back to bite me later, but as long as we keep fighting, it's no problem. And I take this hit. It's a free hit. I start capturing this. I join cap because I actually do want the city. That would flip the advantage to me. I wall it off. And I know Winter Fury is coming, so I know if I build an anti-air on my base, it will not reach this copter. But I don't care, because I am Rachel and he is Olaf. If I lose a unit, that's just one less unit getting hit by the Winter Fury. But if I kill a unit, that's one less he has for a magnet. And that's hurting him more than it's hurting me. And that's how you play aggressive. You have to hurt your opponent more than your opponent hurts you. Oh, that's just how to win in general, now that I think about it. I kill off these units, just going full aggro, get this tank strike, get this infantry strike, because why not? And I move this tank here because I'm seeing a lot of units on the right side and not too many units on the left side. He will use Winter Fury, this will be at 6, this will be at 4, he will heal up to 6. And then 6 tank on 6 tanks, he will first strike with his power attack bonus. So my tank would eventually lose the fight here. So I move the tank, this 4 HP tank, from a little bit to the left, where it can hop onto the next city and then join the fight. And keep in mind, I am Rachel, so I will heal very fast, even through the Winter Fury. Built an anti-air because he has 2 copters. I just threw away my copter, and I honestly don't want to go copter on copter, whereas it will take too long for me to reach the front lines. Just build an anti-air. And here's to Winter Fury. It's very painful, except it isn't. because I fully expected it to happen, and I just no fear attack into Winter Fury. He attacks into me with his... This is what 2 towers and the power bonus means. Look at that damage. That's a 30% firepower bonus against me. Because I joined the cap, my infantry had just enough HP to capture the city. If you look at the top left again, the city is at 4 HP, which means I get it next turn. He has nothing to interrupt. He gets this tank kill. This is 30% firepower for you. I'm pretty sure he might even... It's probably the same thing, whereas he would reduce this to 1 HP. But because I lose my tank, that just means 1 less unit that will take Winter Fury damage from his next Winter Fury. So I'm fine with that. Now it's my turn again. His value is now ahead. He's now ahead of me in value, but I still have way more unit count, which I would plan to leverage. I kill this infantry. I go for these tank strikes. If I kill all the tanks, then my anti-air would remain uncontested. My tank moves over to heal up. My tank moves back to heal up. And now, because I have 2 tanks down here which will heal very fast because I heal 3 HP a turn, I'm now ahead in the tank game on the left. I also start capturing my city because I do actually want this city. Build another tank to contest this tank. If a copter strikes my tank, I will actually move my anti-air back because trades are in my favor. Tank interrupts the city, which makes sense, but I'm fine with that as long as it means the tank is not moving towards the center. Copter goes in for the strikes, knowing full well that I can only kill 1 copter and he kills pretty much 2 tanks here. But my 1 HP tank still putting in work. I move my tank into strike. Move my tank into strike. Anti-air goes in. I strike this, which it acts a little bit from a wall from this tank to... I don't want the tank to strike my anti-air, even though this tank can. This 4 HP infantry has a tiny chance to kill my 3 HP infantry, but I'm not really sure about that. Either way, I built a second anti-air to replace the first anti-air I lost. And these copters are really putting in work, because if this anti-air goes down, this copter is free to front shift to the left and do more stuff. And this is why copters are powerful, but it does take a very long time from the airport. But yeah, you see, now it's my turn again. About 2 turns have passed since the Winter Fury, and now we see we're approximately even in value again. It is his turn, so he will be a little bit ahead. But I still have the vehicle momentum, as in, I have more vehicles in the center ready to fight than he does. He strikes my anti-air, which is to be expected. And this is when I realize, wait, a lot of his units are over here. And I have my super. He has 10 unit count compared to my 11 unit count. We have very low unit counts, which means my super can do a lot of damage. So I did what I would do and start killing off. Admittedly, I should not have killed these infantry. What I should have done is pulled this 2 HP anti-air back, kill this tank, then use my super, because my super would have hit all 3 of these infantry. Well, the infantry missile will hit here, and then I have 2 missiles hitting here because that's 4 units, and also the most valued units over here. So that's what I should have done. Instead, I for some reason thought of killing all of these infantry, because I wanted to shift the infantry missile over. But if you know anything about the infantry missile on Advance Wars by Web, it's that it chooses the topmost tile, the top leftmost tile, starting from the top left moving to the right, then going to the second row, moving to the right. Which means the infantry missiles now going to hit this plains tile. And it's going to hit my tank. Does it make better sense to have all 3 missiles hit here? Yes, absolutely. But that's just not how infantry missile targeting works. It only cares about infantry counts and doubling its infantry value if it is capturing a property. So that was a little bit of a mistake on my end, but it is live, and I only have 20 minutes left on the clock. It's not a lot of time. 20 minutes is nothing, except this is sarcasm. It actually is a lot, but this is live. The infantry missile hurts me more than it hurts him. But I get 2 hits on the medium tank, which, if it was a Winter Fury, this medium tank would be at 8 HP and still very powerful, able to pound at my tanks. But because I'm Rachel, with a Olaf unit count of 7 at the time of the missile hit, it really hurts. My super is just way stronger than Olaf's super with this amount of unit value on the board. Olaf is just not strong when we have constant trades, and this is the power of aggression. He doesn't even send his tank in because he'd probably lose it when I mean, these 2 tanks can probably kill the 4 HP medium tank if it moves in, because we do have double comm tower. So, sets medium tank to heal up, gets a tank strike over here, and I decide, alright, I want to keep trading. Let's keep trading. Your unit for my unit. I go for this strike even though it's within 1 turn reinforcement, because I have 2 tanks healing up. My Rachel super means my tanks come back to the front lines very quickly. I honestly thought my 2 HP anti-air was going to wall off this infantry. I think I was planning to do that, but I cancelled it because this infantry can walk on the mountain and interrupt from the forest regardless, and that's why I decided to move my 2 HP anti-air back. It's a last vehicle movement I did. I built my medium tank to cover this city, and then I moved my 4 HP tank back onto this city to heal. Except I didn't actually do that because I forgot about it. Hey, I only have 18 minutes left on the clock and that's not a lot of time to move 15 units. Give me a break. Medium tank comes in, kills my 4 HP tank. I have an excuse, it's live. And I'm not too worried about this copter because I am Rachel. I could lucky last kill the copter. And a 4 HP copter probably isn't going to do much against my tanks anyway, so I'm fine with leaving this copter. The only thing I'm not fine with is this copter stopping my infantry from getting these comm towers. But I'll deal with that later. For now, I take the first strike. Anti-air gets this kill. 2 comm tower moments. Anti-air is really strong with clearing infantry. I get this tank kill. I continue capturing. And I wall this tank off so this property cannot be saved. It could still be saved by the medium tank. But if the medium tank... actually, the medium tank is safe on the road. But it would be on the road. I move my anti-air over here, where it can cover my infantry, which is still 1 turn movement from the comm tower. And I just built double infantry because... why not? Floating money isn't bad. I have the vehicle momentum. I kind of want a second medium tank, because medium tanks pretty much outclass any unit on this map. Neo tanks are probably not coming. I mean, look, if all properties are captured, and split evenly, we will have 13k income. That is not even enough for 3 infantry and 1 neo tank in 2 turns. Like a neo tank and 3 infantry, which is 2 turns. Your income would not be enough to afford that. So medium tanks, which are cheaper, cost-effective, and still very powerful, are pretty much the kings of the battlefield here. Tank strikes here. Infantry clears this tank. Medium tank attacks from the tile that my medium tank is covering from. It could have attacked from this road where my medium tank would not reach because I would have to go through the forest. But that happened. Tank strikes my infantry, capturing this. As Olaf, you don't really care too much about whether or not your opponent have money. I think the most important thing for Olaf is to make sure that he has money to build up an army for more Winter Furies. But it's my turn again. I go for this strike. Maybe he was just sacking the medium tank for charge. Maybe that was the play. I go for this strike here, where I can start double capturing this. Instead of going for the comm tower, which the copter now blocks, I move my infantry left, move my anti-air to wall off this city from this tank, build another copter of my own. It doesn't matter what his copter does at this point, because even if he first strikes my copter still wins, just on the basis it's a 4 HP copter. So now it's his turn again. I have 16 units. Make that less than 16 units. His Winter Fury only does like 11k damage, and he resigns. Which is a fair resign because I am going to just take everything in the center. My medium tank will kill this tank, and I pretty much just win everything in the center. So that was this game. Fluffy knows how to be aggressive when he has to be aggressive. I'm not just I stall every single game every single time. This map is actually very difficult to stall because of how important the center properties are. And I forgot, how much did his first super do? His first super only did 12,000 in damage, so not that much. How much did my super do? Let's see, 39k. So my super did half his army value, and a little bit of my own tank, but that didn't need to happen. It could have hit the infantry ball over here instead. But yeah, my one super did about the same damage as both his Olaf supers combined. That is how strong Rachel is on base light, if you're able to keep trading these units away. I mean, imagine day 14 and your unit count is pretty much well, it will be less than half of the day number. That is how low the unit count became on this map. Rachel was very strong with low unit counts because of the super. It would just wipe half your army. Whereas Olaf or Drake, they only wipe 20%, maybe a little bit more if you have a lot of injured units. But aside from that, that was this game. And next game we will probably be back to the medium tank on neo tank games, like before. And I actually have a 4th medium tank on neo tank game. Actually, never mind, I don't. Because it's not really focused on medium tanks. I'm using it. I'm using medium tank on neo tank anyway because there was a little bit of those pesky neo tanks doing stuff. against my medium tanks. I'll get my revenge on these Neo tanks. But that was this game, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.